Hey y'all! In this video, I'll be showing you how I moisturize my hair on wash day. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what it takes to moisturize your hair, but I'll leave you with an exact formula that you can start implementing today that I'm positive will work for you too. This is part 2 of my wash day routine, the first part of which I detailed in this video here, so be sure to check it out if you want to know how I got to the start point of this current video. Assuming that this is an average day, I'll say I let my hair dry in the towel for about half an hour before getting started. Just as a note, I've never used a microfiber towel, t-shirt, or anything special to dry my hair. I do notice that sometimes stray hairs can end up being left behind in my towel every now and then, but honestly, I feel like that minimal level is to be expected and virtually benign. As long as you're being careful when taking it off your head, I don't think you need to worry about what you use to dry your hair. So first things first, products. We as naturals have a lot of options when it comes to the method by which we moisturize our hair, and I'm sure you know them all too well. We've got the OG lock method that somehow proliferated into a myriad of variants like the LCO, LC, LCOC, and the Loco Coco method, which left many naturals like myself confused for many years. So let me attempt to break this down into its most basic elements of importance. Part 1 is getting water into your hair, and part 2 is making sure it stays there. By this definition, truthfully, part 1 can be finished after you've washed and conditioned your hair. The water is definitely in your hair at that point. Anything you add after that is more so for manageability or simply personal preference. Some people like the way their hair feels when they add a certain product afterward, or they want their hair to smell a certain way. Or they're trying to achieve a particular styling look like extra shine, definition, etc. But for those of us who want the bare minimum out of our hair care routine, which is simply just to maintain healthy hair at the level that it will grow, you can think of this L as water. Although, honestly, it's not always going to be that simple, but for the most part, this is fine. Part 2 of ensuring the water stays in your hair should be done according to basic chemistry, by an anhydrous solution, or something water-free. Fortunately, we don't have to be so stringent as to only apply anhydrous products onto our hair, because just like most things in life, moisturization exists on a spectrum. It's not binary, meaning either moisturized or not, but instead will be varying levels of moisturized at any point in time. Knowing this, it would make sense why some people have success sealing with creams instead of oils, or even alternating layers of creams and oils. However, my goal is to help you navigate the confusion by giving you the fundamental concept behind the practice so that you can implement it into your routine ASAP and with confidence. The key phrase here being with confidence. For this reason, I want you to think of step 2 as something anhydrous, which within our natural hair world would be either a natural butter or oil. For oil, an additional layer of complexity is that not all oils perform this job well on our hair despite being hydrophobic. So don't think just any oil, but think heavy oil. So to summarize, the way to moisturize natural hair is done by putting water into the hair and then layering on a natural butter or heavy oil to seal it in there. If you did this regularly, meaning first well on wash day and then frequently enough to keep your hair from ever drying out, then you will have mastered moisturizing your hair and will never need to buy another new product a day in your life. Despite the simplicity of the matter, we get caught up in finding the perfect product or which variation of the Loco method we should use, when in reality, pretty much anything would work if we just did it consistently and frequently enough. So I hope that you feel not only clarity from that explanation, but also confidence to be able to commit to whichever 1 or 2 products you choose and use them often. Now, I know that for many of you that's not enough and you want an exact recommendation. I'll tell you what I use, but please make sure you truly understand the purpose of the products so you don't have an expectation for a magic bullet from any single product. I have found through my own long journey of product churning that a leave-in conditioner sealed with castor oil is an excellent combination to keep 4C hair moisturized. The reason I don't only use water to moisturize my hair is simply because I like the additional softness, manageability, and often added scent that a leave-in conditioner brings. Conditioner is my favorite type of product because of the manageability it imparts. So even if I didn't buy a leave-in, I would just keep a small amount of rinse-out conditioner in my hair for moisturizing. It's so beneficial to 4C hair that I would highly recommend it. But bringing it back to the basics, this does not mean leave-in conditioner is required to grow your 4C hair long. As long as you have water, you can moisturize your hair. So it's more important to me that you understand and truly believe that so you can have confidence in your moisturizing routine. However, for those of you who want something a little extra, one silicone-free leave-in conditioner is all you need. As for castor oil as my sealant, I chose this because it was the first oil I tried where I could truly feel that it was coating my hair instead of simply mixing in. I don't know of an oil heavier than castor oil, so if you also prefer oils, this is my single recommendation. As to why I chose oil over a natural butter, I just prefer the ease with which I can layer over and wash out castor oil from my hair. As you know from my prior video where I shared my wash day routine, the main focus of my routine is to use gentle products to keep my hair from drying out unnecessarily. Because of this, I don't use a cleaning agent that would be strong enough to remove copious amounts of a natural butter like shea butter from my hair. In addition, I prefer to go long stretches of time, 1+ months between wash days, so before I can even get to the concern of whether my cleanser can remove the buildup of shea butter, I'm met with the intermediate concern of how well the water I put on my hair within that time will bypass the shea butter that's already on my hair to actually get in there and moisturize it well underneath. These are problems and worries I faced in the past, but when I found castor oil, completely disappeared. Shea butter will definitely seal, but as your hair dries out in the coming days and week, it will stay sealed. Castor oil also seals well, but not so intensely that water or leave-in conditioner I apply later on won't penetrate my strands. Does that all make sense? Great. So for those of you who are looking for a proven local cocoa method to use that you can trust will grow 4C hair long with consistency and patience, this is all you need. A silicone-free leave-in conditioner and castor oil. Done. Probably the most noteworthy aspect of my moisturization routine is that I don't do any detangling. If you've watched my previous videos on length retention, which I'll link above, then you know exactly why I strongly advocate for this. However, at different lengths, our hair has different needs, so don't take this to heart if your hair is still really short, because honestly, until your hair reaches a certain length, it's like physically impossible to get it twisted without detangling it immediately prior. This advice is more so for my girlies at a growth plateau near bra strap length. Your hair is likely being over manipulated, so one of the best ways I believe you can reduce that is by removing detangling from your moisturization and styling sessions. The only time I detangle my hair is on wash day, as I demonstrated in the prior video, and that's only done once a month. And I'm able to maintain my 4C hair well at that frequency. If you're not too sure what I'm talking about, please watch the linked videos. So, as you've been seeing in the video, all I do is unravel a twist and work on one half at a time. I work in my leave-in conditioner and remove shed hair, and then when it feels good, I'll apply my castor oil throughout the section and concentrate it on the ends. I'll then twist that half twist up into a new twist and repeat the process on the remaining half of the original twist. Doing it this way will leave me with 16 twists total. But usually I'm feeling lazier and want to move quicker, so I won't double the twist and will simply moisturize and redo the 8 twists that I started with. This leads me to my next point, protective styling. As a natural hair minimalist, every element of my routine is purposeful and important. But if I had to pick one that I think would be the most helpful to you all, it would be the protective styling portion. To stress just how important this is, I'm going to try to give you some perspective through an anecdote of my journey. I used to moisturize my hair once a day and several times a week in the past because I couldn't tell if my hair was dry. I continued this process through my very long growth plateau as well, during which I deduced my staple moisturizing method that I described earlier in the video at the once a week frequency, but still to no avail. The day that I learned for the first time what moisturized hair looks and feels like was after I had finally started implementing secondary protective styles. 1 week after wash day, I was taking down my secondary protective style to perform my weekly moisturization, and to my surprise, the ends of my twists were just as shiny and soft as they usually are the day after wash day. And this was a feat that I hadn't thought was possible until that very moment. So this is what showed me that it's not the moisturization routine, but what you do beyond that to preserve the moisture afterward. That's where the magic happens. If you haven't started implementing secondary protective styles and you had no issues with the local Kodoko method and you're at a growth plateau, then let this be your sign that it is the missing piece in your routine and you should start today. For those of you new to my channel, secondary protective styles are styles that keep your ends off your shoulders and from coming in contact with literally anything. I first coined the term in this video linked here. In knowing all this, you'll understand why I always, without fail, put my hair into twists and then style them in a high bun on wash day. Leaving them down will accelerate the drying process, and that is in direct opposition with my goals to optimize moisture retention. The bun works whether my hair is in 8 twists or 16, but the 16 twists look a little neater, which I don't usually care about, but just as a note for anyone who might. While I was trudging through the trenches of my growth plateau and my hair was too short for a top knot, I would twist the twists around the back of my head and secure them with bobby pins for my secondary protective style. Since that wasn't the most visually descriptive, you can see the protective style in this video for those of you who are interested. Just to reiterate, for those of you who may have gotten lost along the way, the secret to maintaining moisturized hair for 1+ weeks is a secondary protective style. In my case, after mastering my moisturizing routine and secondary protective styles, I can go a solid 2 weeks of leaving my hair in this bun before it dries out. Something me in my twa stage would have never thought possible. So as promised in the beginning of the video, this is the moisturization routine I recommend for all the 4C girlies who are aiming for length retention but are stuck in a growth plateau. First, after conditioning your hair well on wash day, additionally moisturize with a silicone-free leave-in conditioner and seal with castor oil. If you don't have a leave-in, just seal the water from your freshly conditioned hair in with castor oil, or leave in some of your deep conditioner and seal that in with castor oil. 2. Use your twists from washing as your framework for twisting up your hair after moisturizing and sealing. This is important to prevent having to do additional detangling. And lastly, style your twists so that they're off of your shoulders and ends are ideally tucked into the hair somewhere. Literally anything you can fathom here is valid. Now, implement this new routine, perform it regularly, and watch as you crush your hair goals. If you do it consistently, I promise you will never look back. I love you guys and wish you success. Mata ne. Bye.